All right, what's up, everybody? This is the Tuesday 10X interview. Every Tuesday, 9 o'clock Pacific, I am interviewing amazing mortgage advisors. Sometimes it's authors and leaders outside the industry, but guys, today it's one of our own. It's Chris Devin, someone that I've had a friendship with for Chris. It feels like it's been 2 decades, but do you remember the
That
year that
was
we met each other?
2007 is the first time I met you.
Okay, so almost 2 decades. And this is someone that I've known as a professional, one of the best in America when it comes to giving advice and helping people with their real estate financing. But much bigger and more important than that, this is one of the best human beings I've ever known. Like his character is just incredible. When we first met each other, I think I interviewed you for the Mortgage Coach YouTube channel, so it's been a long time. And you had told me a story of when you were younger, as a kid growing up, you had a stuttering issue and you had overcome that. And, at the time, I was advocating for you to speak at Sales Mastery, where you told a little bit of your overcoming adversity story. Would you remind the audience, anyone that doesn't know that?
Absolutely. So yeah, that was we were on stage together at Sales Mastery, I believe 2011, um, back in the day. And yeah, just it was growing up, my speech was a thing for me. I had a stuttering problem, which impacted me in school and speaking, and I shied away from a lot of opportunities since I was a young kid, all the way throughout my early professional career due to the stuttering. And I was able to overcome it in my adult life when I started having kids and realized I said no to an opportunity. It's actually for a branch manager position, my first one that I got offered back in the day, and I said no because I didn't want to be in be in big rooms or speaking in front of groups. I realized that I had to do something about it. And with life getting a little more stressful with kids and work was crazy, my speech was regressing. And funny enough, everything happens for a reason. I met this woman, Diane Paris at BU, and she literally changed my life from the speech side. And at the same time, I met Diane within 3 months. I connected with you in the Real Estate Radio Network to start a radio show in Boston, which was a mind-blowing thought back in the day. But I just seen the King's Speech, which came out. For those of you that have seen it, was very impactful for someone that was dealing with a speech issue. And long story short, I started Real Estate Talk Boston. The rest is history. That show transformed my life. It transformed my business in so many ways. And I ran that from April of 2010 to just the start of COVID, April of 2020. So that was
Well,
special.
well, you're an incredible story. And just to be clear, guys, this guy who does a lot of loans, he's always been one of the top 1%, 5% mortgage professionals in the country. This year, I think you told me you just crossed 80 million in production for 2025, and you think you have a shot at passing 100 million by the end of the year. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, with the refi opportunities, we're doing our best to grab as many as we can to get ourselves there. So we'll see. It's a tall task, but we're gonna try to pull it off.
Yeah. So we'll probably in the last quarter of the call, the fourth quarter, we'll get into loan now strategies and tactics. I just feel that some of Chris's story and the values that he has, the beliefs that he has, are it's a bigger story. Like I titled this "The Mindset of a Champion" because that's what Chris has. He's got the mindset of someone that's going to win no matter what they do. So let's start unpacking your story today. Like I know you have professional plans to do over 100 million in purchase business next year. You and I talked about that as part of the prep for this. But what's the new adversity that you're currently overcoming? I just want folks to be clear on that.
Sure. Well, I was diagnosed with cancer, multiple myeloma, back in July of 2020. And it's definitely been an interesting run. The past 5 years have taught me so much about life and a lot of things, how important and fragile. Life is just so fragile, right? So every day is a gift, and that's how we try to live our lives. So uh, with my cancer, I've had a few relapses. Uh, Most recently, just within the last week, I got some news that it has come back in a new way that I haven't seen before, and it's in my liver and a couple other spots. So we're just going to adjust and attack, right? There's no other way to do it, and uh, it's part of my everyday life, obviously. But I do my best to not let it dominate my mind by any means. This stuff, like I was saying to you before, I love what I do. I love the mortgage business. I love helping people get into homes. And this really helps keep me on track mentally, in regards to moving forward on a daily basis and being positive. So, cancer is part of my life. I think we all have our stories, right? I tell people all the time, what everybody has their stuff going on. Cancer, multiple myeloma is mine, but I'm not going to let it define me, right? So it's the daily disciplines and mindset that allow us to kind of push through and excel to the next level.
Well, I reached out to a number of people that love you, respect you, are inspired by you as part of my prep for today's call. And one of those is a mutual coach and mentor that we both have, Jonathan Roach. And I was just reaching out to people who know you and say, hey, what questions should I ask Chris? And actually, Jonathan had a good suggestion, and it really tees up after what you just said. But what are some of the hidden gifts this battle, this health battle, has given you? Like when you think of things that you've gained from this battle, what comes to mind?
The respect for fragileness of life. I've seen so many crazy situations in treatment. I'm in treatment on a weekly basis. Grateful that I'm here in the greater Boston area, and Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, which is world renowned, is right here in my backyard. And what blows my mind every week when I go in, whether I'm in the garage and I see all these different license plates from all over the country, or I'm sitting on the second floor where blood draw is, and that's where all the different types of cancers, the people there for all different types at that point. Uh, we all meet on that floor, and you see so many different stories, and there's a lot of people fighting some significant fights out there, right? So when I go in and I'm on that second floor and I'm waiting, and like, let's say I'll see a 7-year-old kid with no hair and a mask on, and you can just tell that they're frail and fighting. Um, you want to like trade places with him or her, right? Because you just like, this isn't fair. Like, why is this happening to them? But you see them smile, or moving in the right direction, being positive, and that just fuels me. Realize I'm fighting my battle, but I feel like I'm lucky in so many ways. A lot of times people don't even realize that I'm battling cancer, because I still have my hair, luckily, and am healthy for the most part. But what I've seen kind of behind the scenes is really eye-opening and inspiring, to just make sure that the second I walk out that door after I'm done with treatment, how am I going to maximize my time, outside, and be grateful for um, the sun, the fresh air, and interacting with people in a positive way. So that is by far the biggest thing that I've taken from this, is that every day is a gift, and you just want to maximize your opportunities, because you never know what tomorrow brings. It has also taught me time management. I know we always joke that is kind of the word or a phrase that people try to master, and like, really, what is it and what does it mean? But when you're not able to operate as you'd like on a daily basis, it really makes you dial in your time when you are feeling good and are outside, in the office. So,
Well,
okay.
let's do this because I think I've talked you and I have talked about the book I'm writing, the Savage Code, and I believe that who we are as a human, who we are as a professional, it all comes down to our code. And I would love for you to share some of the parts of their code. Like I almost want to make this interview the Chris Devin code. What are some of those things that are helping you, one, have big business goals, two, you're crushing your big business goals, but you're also fighting cancer, being a dad, being a husband. You're doing all these things. What is the code that helps you do that? What are the values and the philosophies that are driving you right now?
Well, what's funny is when you brought up to me that you had written your code and you shared it with me. Um, what I realized is my code at the time is pretty simple, and I need to expand. You've inspired me to really go deep on this. So I think I gotta take a step back and really bring my code to the next level. But uh, for the past 5 years, organically, just through what has happened, we created this bracelet that uh, we wear. My team, my family, a lot of my friends. I think you have one as well. And it's based off of my 4 pillars of the code. The first one being WTD, which is win the day. Win the day uh, means so much to me. And when I was first diagnosed, and it was really, an eye-opening experience. It's like, holy crap, I just got diagnosed with cancer. How are we going to deal with this? And you just feel like everything's coming at you. And I just, got that mindset. It came to me of like, okay, guess what? Let's not think about far off in the future or let the mind wander. Let's just focus on today. Let's win the day. And that has had a tremendous impact on how I operate. And I have brought that not only to, my personal fight with cancer, but to my team and how we operate on a daily basis. And I find myself, Dave, even taking win the day, I've used that to dial it into many different situations. And it came from what I was dealing with health side. Like I'll dial it all the way back to win the minute. And where I but that is I get claustrophobic, and in my first couple months, when I was diagnosed, I had a lot of MRIs. For those of you that have not had one, they put you in a tube. There's loud noises. It's very tight, and it makes me extremely uncomfortable. And so I knew I had to do it. There were no options, right? So I literally would dial it back and just focus in my head, like, okay, let's win the minute. And I thought of certain places in the world I wanted to be, or, walking the beach with my wife in South Carolina, or looking at a sunset, or hearing the ocean come in and out. And I just focus on that minute, excuse me, and then move to the next. And I realized no matter what I was dealing with in life, whether it was cancer, work, kids, anything, that mindset really works. So win the day is my first pillar.
So I'm going to have him list the 4 pillars, and then we're going to unpack some of these. But here's what I want folks to do. Like this is a time where, as we're having this conversation around the Chris Devin code, like what are these philosophies, beliefs, concepts? That's a mantra and a philosophy all in itself. I want you to be writing down like what are some of the core philosophies, call it your code. What are core codes that drive your success the most? And Chris has got it down to 4. By the way, I'm wearing his bracelet, WTD. That
There
is
you go.
win
Love it.
the day, baby. By the way, I heard there's black ones. I saw someone wearing a black one.
You're coming. They're coming.
Uh,
Yeah,
okay.
I heard it was on your Christmas list, so we're
Yeah.
gonna we're gonna see if Santa can bring you one.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm actually going to make one of these around my four codes because I just think the more people can have a code, live a code, the more successful we'll be, the more happy we'll be, the more we'll achieve everything we want in life. All right. So we'll come back to exactly what is winning the day for you because I have some more questions there. Give us the second one.
It's WGT, which is we got this. Um, that came from I have four kids and a amazing wife, and when I was diagnosed, it impacts everybody, right? So what was tough for me is seeing, the kids get nervous and all that stuff. So uh, from that, we just started saying every single day if there were times where they were upset or we're trying to talk something through, it was, we got this, period. Guys, no matter what life is going to throw at us, we got this. And uh, WGT means the world to me. And I'm a team guy. I'm definitely not like, excuse me, a we guy, not an I guy. And that's transpired into how my team operates, right? No matter what's coming at us, we just got to have the mindset of we got this, period. So um, that's pillar number two.
Well, this was not one of my code until Chris Devin brought it into my life. And I can't tell you how many times just I've said that to myself. And it gives power, it gives hope, it gives confidence. So I love that, brother. What's number
Well,
three?
what a huge thing for me, just quickly before I go to the next one, is when I hear my kids say, "We got this," that is, that's awesome, So it literally is part of like what I realized when I took a look at your code and mine. Mine is more probably the four pillars of my mindset code. I got to expand, like I said, to follow your code, but
Well,
um,
we're going to do a little bit of that in a few minutes. So be ready. We're going to
WBC
workshop it.
is definitely the second pillar. The third pillar comes from our guy, Jonathan Roach, who has been a coach and mentor in my life. And his big thing is positive voice choice. And how are we showing up every day, with the words that are coming out of our mouth and how we're presenting ourselves to people, but also up here, right? So making sure that that positive voice is stepping up to the podium to speak makes a huge difference. So always just trying to stay positive. It's easy to get sucked into, a dark hole, whether it be with the health stuff that I'm dealing with or, the business being a grind over the past couple years. But I always tell people like you control the controllables, right? And having that positive voice lead the way is a huge factor in success. And I truly believe that.
So, guys, I've interviewed Jonathan a lot of times on the Mortgage Coach YouTube channel, and we will be doing another interview with Jonathan soon. And he would tell you, in the coaching and mentoring he does with both professional athletes, elite athletes, and top producers. I mean, he's still coaching Shant. He is, a coach and a leader to some of the greatest mortgage professionals ever. PVC, positive voice choice. Like it is a master skill. And I just want to just remind everybody, positive voice choice is not just the conversation you're having with other people. It's most importantly the conversation you're having with yourself. So I think it's one of those master skills and beliefs that if you can have it and you can live it, it makes a lot of other codes just work out. Like one of my codes is always better, never bitter. Uh, I couldn't live that code of always better and never bitter if I didn't have a positive voice choice that I executed pretty well. So cool. And number four, round it out.
WN question mark. Why not us? Why not me? I kind of left that open, but like, why not today? Right? That came from mindset of like looking what was coming at me physically. And human nature is to question the future, right? How much time do I have? And what's going to happen? And you try to mentally bring that positive voice choice and stay on track, but it is human nature. And when I do look into the future, and I keep telling my doctor, I said, Doc, we got to figure this out because I know I have at least 50 more in me. I'm 50 and I got 50 more at least. So we got to figure this out. And that why not mentality and is why can't we accomplish our goals now, right? Why can't we implement today? Why can't we get this done, this minute? It's really kind of plays into that attack mindset, attack today, and let's just, let's not watch others do it. That's awesome. And I'm extremely supportive of my peers and everything else going on. But when you see, people doing the production that they're doing or living their best life, you say, why not? Why not me? Why not us? Let's do this. So that's WN question mark. Why not?
WN question mark. Why not? Fill in the blank. And so I love it. So guys, the four pillars that are like my compass, and I looked at Chris, it was interesting that he had four, because I just think metaphorically there's a compass. For me at the very top of it, it's always curious, always grateful. And I know if I could just live a life of curiosity and gratitude, due north for me is always better, never bitter. Uh, Professionally, my advice makes a difference. And then have fun playlists. Like that was hard for me a lot of my life. I was just so driven for success. So here's the deal, guys. Every person on this call, you have a code. Like everybody listening to this has a code. The question is, how clear are you on your code? Do you know your code? How well do you know your code? And how well do you live your code? And here's what I believe at my core, and that whether it's your wealth and your financial life, whether that's your business life, your success, or whether that's your personal life, whether that's your relationship with yourself, it comes down to your code. Do you have a code? Do you know a code? Do you live a code? And every time there is someone that is not happy, not winning in business, which by the way, the uncommon LO is winning. They're doing over 100 loans a year in volume. And by the way, 20% of loan officers are closing over 50 loans a year. By the way, 70 to 80% of loan officers are closing less than a loan or two a month. So the majority of mortgage professionals, they're not winning. It's pretty rare that I talk to someone and they don't have a goal that goes beyond 3 loans a month, 36 loans a year. Like most people want to be winning. So let's all work. Let's make not the rest of this, because I want to save the last quarter for some tactics and ideas. Let's workshop our code right now. So first of all, if you've got some things, some mantras that you want to share and put them in chat, like I want to collect a lot of different codes. I want people to document the code. And now, Chris, I want you to go beyond the four, because win the day. Like I've got this belief, in order to win the day, I have to win by noon. And to win by noon, I have to win by 7. And that 7 is like personal things that I need to get done by 7 in the morning in order for me to win by noon. And if I don't win by noon, I didn't win the day. What are some of those things to really unpack winning the day for you? What are some other codes, some other protocols, some things that you do?
I am such a strong believer in the fact that morning routine matters, at least for me. To your point, winning by 7, I don't put a time out of it, but a time on it. But I will tell you, I am a man of routine, and I love my morning routine. It's become my favorite part of the day. Is I'm usually up around 5:15, excuse me. And I start my day with coffee, um, usually a little bit of prayer, clearing the head, and positive affirmations and talking through them my head, 3 to 5 things that I'm grateful for. Grateful affirmations, I think, is the best way to start the day, and it puts everything in perspective. So, spending that first half an hour doing that, then I turn to positive content. I've joked about in prior interviews with you, Dave. Going back to COVID, I think I called MortgageCoach YouTube channel my Netflix. I'm just not. People think I'm crazy. I'm just not a show guy. I enjoy, watching YouTube or Savage videos, and that's what I do. And so absorbing positive content, whether it be reading, listening to a podcast, watching Mortgage Coach YouTube, that's a great way to really kind of get the mind going and get things rolling. And then I work out every day, typically for 45 minutes to an hour. So by the time the kids are waking up and everything's getting going, I feel like I've already won the day because I've been able to get my mind right, get my body right, and I'm ready to go. So morning routine is huge for me.
I would love to just hear your practices around the Mortgage Coach YouTube channel. I mean, how many videos do you think you've watched? And if you had a monthly or weekly rhythm, what do you think it is?
I have watched a lot. I would say a minimum. I'm typically 3 or 4 a week. I mean,
Wow.
I've watched everything, and then I will go back to the playlists frequently, and dive into different things and just take nuggets out of it. I'm an Evernote guy, so I have my Evernote notebook for Mortgage Coach, and I'll take my notes. And you have so many brilliant people that come on your channel and share what they're doing. And I truly believe that the best of the best in our industry are involved in what you're doing. So you give us this whole world of knowledge to operate at the highest level in the mortgage industry. I'm truly grateful for that. So thank you.
Well, thank you. And I do think we started referring to the Mortgage Coach YouTube channel as the Netflix for loan officers, and that was inspired by you. I think it
I'm going
was
to take claim to
sometime.
that.
Yeah, it might have been 2020, and you had reached out to me and just said,
Yeah.
"Dude, these interviews are just pumping me up, giving me value." And you used that metaphor, and then I started playing it forward. So thank you for that little marketing
Yeah.
help. And then I do want to call out whether you're watching positive content that's tactical around the mortgage industry, our YouTube channel, or you're listening to some other podcast. Uh, Part of winning by seven for me is positive content. That could just be quotes and affirmations, and that could be books, audiobooks, podcasts. Usually for me, it's more listening and watching content than it is reading content. But if you're on this call right now, like winning by 7 or 8 or 9, however you do morning, there's nothing more important than that. And I could go on and on and on and on about that. Anything else that comes to mind around winning the day besides winning your morning? Any other like beliefs, philosophies, mantras, things that come into winning the day for you?
Uh, One more thought in regards to the morning is over the past couple of years I've implemented a morning team huddle. I think that is so important to get everybody on the same page. I have my own branch and talk to LOs and recruit people and have other LOs that I work with, and a lot of times I find that their biggest problems or issues is really lack of communication with the team. Their mind is spent all day wondering, is this getting done on that loan? Is that call being made? Is this being done? And if you spend time with your team up front first thing in the morning and let them know what's on your mind in regards to what needs to get done, see what's on their mind and what their priorities are for the day, and everybody gets on the same page, I find that our team is much more effective than if we did it the old way, which is just going through the day and checking in with each other occasionally. If you kind of set the runway for the day, that makes a huge difference. So that would be
Yeah,
my two.
I had reached out to Hunter Marquardt as part of my prep and had asked him to just riff, like, dude, what are four of your code? I'm not going to share those because I'm going to be interviewing Hunter sometime soon, and you guys will hear some of
Special
Hunter's
duty.
code. But
Yeah.
but that is something I'm asking everybody watch this right now. If you're watching this on YouTube, put it on pause for a minute and write down four things. I've shared my four. Chris has shared his four. Uh, I don't see as much engagement in Zoom as I would love to. I did see Oscar just shared, just make it happen. I think you're saying that's part of your code, just make it happen. But whatever it is, guys, like get at least four things documented in writing. And then I always say, like, because I've been mentoring people on documenting their code. In fact, I started a Facebook group called Know Your Code. Uh, Make sure you follow it. I also the mobile club that I have built over years with thousands of people opted in. I'm calling it the Savage Code. I'll put a link in chat, or Paul will put a link in chat if you want to be in that mobile club where every week, once or twice a week, I'm sharing positive content and I'm sharing ideas to help you know your code. Because here's what I also believe as a guy who is a technologist. I'm a technology entrepreneur. Getting adoption of technology has always been one of the biggest challenges. And one of the things that I notice that the people that adopt Mortgage Coach and adopt other technology, it's because of their code. Like they have beliefs, philosophies that drive them to unlearn old ways of doing things, learn new ways of doing things. Like that doesn't just happen. That's like part of their code. Chris, anything come to mind when you think of, you know, the fact that you use Mortgage Coach and that you use technology to win? You leverage modern media. I mean, you were one of the first to start a radio show and use social media to win and build brand. Anything come to mind that you think is part of your code that makes you that guy that is leveraging tech in a modern way?
Uh, I mean, I feel that that stuff is so important to succeed in today's world. I hear you say it all the time, and I preach it to my team, is that your traditional loan officer who's quoting rates and just what the borrower thinks they need, and providing a loan estimate, they're going to get eaten alive in today's world. Their time is limited, and the industry is going to pass them by. And I'm in my 24th year in the business, and I would say, Dave, looking back, this is one of the biggest times that I've been a part of where you feel the business shifting, right? We've had a few, '07, '09 was crazy. COVID for different reasons was crazy, but you can feel the business shifting. And I think that if you're not positioning yourself as a modern loan advisor, that's what we call ourselves on the Devin team, you are going to be in big trouble. And I think, if you're not leveraging Mortgage Coach, the tools that you've provided are second to none, top notch, best tool out there. If you're not leveraging video, I use video every day for multiple reasons. And I'm doing my best to learn AI. And a goal of mine is to spend 30 minutes a day, probably at night. That's another time where I consume content that is obviously going to play a major role in all of our lives, not just in the mortgage world. So, staying ahead of the game and being a modern loan advisor is, in my eyes, the only way to move forward in today's business to be successful.
Yeah, I think there was a clip right there for the uncommon LO. I believe and agree with everything you said. There is a shift happening, and leveraging the tools that you laid out there. Everybody, if you are not following Uncommon LO on Instagram and TikTok, you're missing out. We're trying to, like, every day to every other day release a new video in that community that epitomizes what it required to be uncommon. And by the way, to be uncommon, you need to be a top 20% performer in the industry, and you need to be doing it in a way that's future proof. And I don't believe that everyone who's a top 20 performer or top 20% performer right now will be a top 20% performer 2 years from now if they don't adopt technology and AI. So someone put a question in here around AI and what do you think of AI voice? Before I just jump on the AI call assistant, I wanna just speak to AI, and I also want to hear what you're doing and what you're planning to do. Because while AI assistant is actually having an AI voice call a lead, and by the way, do I think that that is a good idea at the right time for the right type of lead? I think it is. I mean, you're already seeing companies like Rocket that are, they're outperforming humans. The question is, when do you use it? How do you use it? And by the way, is that the biggest opportunity for you right now to improve your business? And what are your thoughts on AI, and what are the best practices? What are the things that you're doing? What are the things that you plan to do?
Right. So, I mean, I think there's no questions asked. AI is going to be a major part of our business. The fact that Mortgage Coach has got that tool built in now, which is amazing. So you can send the TCA, and the borrower, is able to ask questions, and then you can see what questions they're asking, just like Mortgage Coach is always giving you the notification that they reviewed the report, kind of gives you the answer to the test in regards to when to follow up with them, right? Now you can see what questions they're asking so you can prepare. So when you connect, you're ahead of the game and can give them the answers that they're looking for. Excuse me. I would say that I think AI will be a great tool. I would love to learn how to use it within social and other platforms to create the conversation, the lead, so to say. But I still truly believe at some point the human has to take over. And the difference is that human touch. So, I want to implement it so it can help me create leads and get them to a certain point. But at the end of the day, being human, having that connection, helping somebody with, in most cases, the largest purchase of their life, and especially depending on what part of the country you're in, spending millions of dollars on a home, that matters, right? I believe, and I'm hopeful that AI is not going to push us out, but I truly believe that the human touch matters at the end of the
Yeah.
day. So.
Yeah, let me give a longer answer to that last question. So first of all, I think there's things that are just so easy to implement, and that if you're not implementing them, you need to implement. So first of all, we had a lot of people ask the question, is a 50-year mortgage a good idea, in the Mortgage Coach AI platform yesterday. So if you are not giving a mortgage coach to every pre-approval, to every refi customer, you are missing out, because 80+% of people that are buying homes and in the market, they're using AI either actively or passively. Like if you're using Google, you're using AI. So they're either actively or passively using AI, and it's not in your platform. So to Chris's point, the beauty of the Mortgage Coach total cost analysis is that you can see what questions they're asking. So if you had delivered options to a consumer and they had asked inside of Mortgage Coach, is 50-year mortgage a good idea? You would know it. So just make sure you're using it. And Tom, this Friday at 9 o'clock, we're going to be doing a call on both the 15-year mortgage debate and what are other strategies. So I recommend 9 o'clock this Friday. I'm going to have Dan Keller, Sean Herrero. I've invited a number of other top producers to join that. And again, we're going to talk about it. And to me, the big opportunity and the missed conversation on the 50-year isn't whether it's a good program or it's a bad program. It's a great opportunity to have a conversation with your database around financial freedom lending, which means you're picking a loan and a mortgage strategy to help you achieve financial freedom, and you're being intentional about that. For example, and again, I'm not advocating for a 50-year mortgage because I don't think that's the best strategy. I think a 5-year, 7-year interest-only ARM can accomplish the same thing and probably be a better instrument of success. But to me, it's all about having that conversation with your client. Like, how old do you want to be when your home's paid off? And then picking a mortgage strategy that helps them achieve that. AI, let's get back to AI. So first of all, make sure you use a mortgage coach. 2, if you're not doing research with AI yourself, like that's like multiple times a day, you're asking, like, here would be a question: how many people with homes in America have an interest-only loan today? I asked Perplexity that yesterday. It told me about 1.5 million. I also, because I'm curious around this conversation, I asked it, what percentage of people that have a 30-year loan actually pay off their 30-year loan? Guys, if you're not using AI for research, you're missing the boat to make you smarter. If you're not using AI to improve how you communicate, so like the social media post I put out today, I voiced to text ChatGPT, and it did not write the whole post, but it made it a better post. It made it faster for me to write it. Because I have put my code, the Savage code, and my brand into AI, I was able to go from a 30-second voice message to something that sounded like it had my voice and something that was more efficient, super fast. By the way, if you're not following Hey Katie on Instagram, that's who helped me create my AI Savage code. I can't remember what the price was, but it was really low cost, and highly recommend Katie. She's also the head of marketing for First Home IQ. So anyway, those are a couple thoughts. And then in terms of voice AI, yeah, well, why not? Test it, play with it. To me, it's all about being open-minded. It's all about testing ideas and strategies, and I'm very open to it. All right. Thank you, Paul, for putting the Hey Katie in there. All right. We are in the last 15 minutes, and we all know that in the fourth quarter, how many football games are won and lost right now in the fourth quarter? Paul, if you could also put the Savage Code mobile number in here. So Chris, you got big goals for next year. Remind everybody what you want your production to be in 26.
I always look at the business as I grow older here that refis are gravy. So I'm focusing on the purchase side. I'd love to do 100 million in purchase, and that's the main goal, is to increase the purchase business. The refinances are gravy and going to take care of themselves. I'm looking to do that. I'm going to really pivot and re-engage with events. My goal is to do 2 events a month. Every other week, I'm going to do 1 webinar with my operations manager, where I invite agents. It's easy to do. You can do it quickly, and drive the business. So I'm going back to live events and looking to really connect with people, because at the end of the day, to get face to face with people and be able to interact at that level, it trumps everything.
Yeah, no, I love that. And by the way, Greg, time zone, 9 o'clock Pacific, every Friday, I'm doing a mastermind. This Friday will be about the debate on 50-year and other affordability strategies to win in this market. That will always be available on our YouTube channel. And also, if you go to savageinsights.com, that is always my personal website that gets updated every single day. So every Tuesday, it'll be the sign up for the coming Tuesday, and then later today, it'll be updated and there'll be a sign up link for the Friday mastermind. So hope to see you there. Um, what Karen just asked, what's the other events you're doing?
Other events is hosting realtor events, or I should say referral partner events, whether it be financial planners, accountants, CPAs, and do it around a lunch platform. So invite people to a lunch and educate, lunch and learn, the old phrase that we used to play with back in the day, right? So I'm going back to lunch and learns, and do it on different topics as the market evolves, and just tries to stay ahead of the game and help our referral partners win. Focus less on rates and programs and all that stuff. That I'm gonna stay away from that. Rather, helping our referral partners increase their own business by learning how to implement AI and dealing with objections and making sure that they're armed with all the tools that they can help their clients with when it comes to what we can do on our side. Like a simple topic of like a bridge loan. There's so many people out there that don't even know a bridge loan exists, and that can be a huge benefit to a buyer. So doing things like that, lunch and learn platform, that's my main goal for 2026.
And what percentage of your business is first-time home buyers, ballpark?
We do a lot of first-time home buying stuff, so I would say it's probably 50%, I would say.
So here's another thought when we start thinking about AI, is that when you think of what are the loans that are easiest to automate, and knowing that AI voice exists, knowing that AI underwriting, AI loan manufacturing is a real thing. I mean, what do you think is the easiest type of loan to automate? Everyone, what is it? Rate and term refis, maybe? And when you think rate and term refis are the things that you're going to have the most automated competition with in the future, what type of loan are you going to have the least amount of automated competition in the future? First time home buyers, guys. So if you're local, you're referral based, no bigger opportunity. And by the way, no bigger problem in America when it comes to home ownership. The average age went from 38, which was like 911 crisis in America. Literally, first time home buyers went from 29 to 31 to 33 to 34 to 38. And the numbers are out last week. It's 40. The average age of a first time home buyer is 40. So I mean, guys, like there's no bigger problem in America. Because here's my thesis on it, is that the wealth gap in America is a problem. And the front line to the wealth gap in America is homeownership. Like if you can help people get into homeownership, they can achieve financial freedom. By the way, Greg, I am not advocating for a 50-year mortgage. Be super clear on that. But even if someone did achieve homeownership with a 50-year mortgage, and they took the difference between the 50 and the 30, and they invested it, or they used it to prepay their loan, like getting into homeownership is the front line. And I personally believe that it all comes down to education. It all comes down to advice. It all comes down to transparency. What are your thoughts on that, Chris?
Just quickly, because the 50-year mortgage keeps coming up, and I usually don't speak to this stuff and kind of stay away from anything controversial, but I'm 100% against the 50-year mortgage. I think we should be focusing more on LOPAs and kind of fixing that, and making, bringing rates down in certain scenarios, and not, analyzing credit a little bit more and not crushing people for certain FICOs. I've seen some low scores, not low, but like let's say a 700 credit score, and you look at their credit and you're like, they have great credit. Why is it 700? So and that has impacted them significantly rate wise. So That's my 2 cents there.
Oh, well,
And
by the way, for sure, I think everybody in the mortgage business that understands finance would vote for that. Like that would have a tremendous immediate impact in the right direction
I
around
really believe
affordability
it,
in
right?
America. There's
Yeah,
no, anybody who
100%.
wants to debate that, let me know. I would be curious, but I am pretty sure that is not a, provocative, debatable topic.
Agreed.
Um, Chris, how familiar are you with the nonprofit First Home IQ?
I've seen it brought up um, on the videos and stuff. I'm Kristen Messerly. I know
Yeah.
she's involved in it. A lot of people are involved in it. I personally have not gone down that path, um, to really dive into it, but I've heard about it through the channel.
Well, just the one thing I wanted to shed a line for everybody, guys, there's a lot of free to anyone and everyone content to inspire first-time home buyers. And while the content is mostly designed to Gen Z, like 20-ish year olds, uh, by the way, what is attractive and attention-getting and compelling for a 20-year-old or 25-year-old is also really compelling and inspiring to a 35-year-old or a 40-year-old. So just lean into it, Chris. Check it out and make sure you guys are following it on social media. I'm on the board, something I'm passionate about, and working hard to get more 20-year-olds into homeownership. And one of the things I'm going to do a post on next week, or who knows, I might do it sooner, I might do it later. But I had this epiphany that I've been talking for a long time, like the home run of the American dream is homeownership with financial freedom. I've upped the ante on that, where I think the home run is homeownership with financial freedom and helping inspire and educate your kids to achieve homeownership in their 20s. Like if the national average is 40, guys, let's help our database. Let's help the consumers that we have a homeownership plan to get their kids into homeownership in their 20s. Because if you could do all those things, you'd be in control of your future. Any thoughts on that?
Love it, 100%. I mean, we got to bring that back, and I think we're going to stay away from the 50-year mortgage, and make home ownership more affordable. There's a lot of parts of this country, prices just continue to rise. It is not easy. I'm in one of them. Boston is not an easy place to buy a home, but without question, if you look at the benefits, and the TTA is a great way to showcase and break it down for people. The quicker you can get in, and we can eliminate the common myths of you have to put down 20%, or PMI is a bad thing, and all that stuff. The more we educate the younger generation, the better off they're going to be, for sure.
Well, let's see if we can get a script out of you for the Uncommon LO. And if you don't nail it right now, I'll let you send me a recording of it later.
Yeah.
But since 50% of your business is first-time home buyers, and you're in Boston, not the most affordable housing market in the world, let's assume that who cares what age I am? I'm a first-time buyer, and I'm thinking about, should I buy now? Should I wait for rates to come down? Should I wait? I think values might come down. Give us a script and some talking points, how Chris Devin would enter that conversation, what questions you might have for me. Let's just do like a minute or two of how do you approach that conversation, because I'm sure you've had it a lot.
Sure. Well, I mean, I think this is where we, can differentiate ourselves from just a traditional loan officer, right? And the upfront consultation matters, right? So first off, you want to figure out somebody's, goals and dreams and what they're aspiring to do. And if home ownership is one of them, that's fantastic. We're starting off in the right foot, right? And then showing them what real estate can do for them over time, right? And I think a lot of people uh especially in today's age, and why maybe that age has increased in regards to first-time home buyers, is because they just look at it as what it's going to cost them, right? Rather than realizing that a mortgage is a tool, right? Real estate is a wealth creation builder, right? So if we can merge those two together and leverage yourself to get into a home. I am a big fan of we've had a few recent first-time home buyers leveraging the FHA loan to buy a multifamily and get in, low down payment, live in it for a year or two, and then move on to the next home, right? And when those buyers come back to you and say, "Wow, this is amazing. I never thought I could do this, and now I realize I have two, three, four unit. It's creating an income stream for me, and my out-of-pocket expense is extremely low. I'm gonna, go leverage that to buy another property." A lot of times you might find somebody who is in their late 20s, early 30s, who may have been single at the time, who's now moving on and found a significant other and moving into a single family, and to be able to have that asset working for them, that's that first step in creating wealth, and it's fun to be a part of that, right? So
Have you done a total cost analysis, like a rent versus own, where you're like, hey, here's renting, here's buying units, and you're using that to illustrate the opportunity to them?
honestly, I not that I can think of. I'm not great with the rent first own. I have my strengths within mortgage coach. The rent first own is something that I have to get better at. But it's something that I need to learn. It makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah, no, well, I
I'm just
love it.
being honest. Yeah,
Yeah, like, dude,
I don't
you
have a
know,
TCA
no
status for you to
other.
call me out on to bring it up. I'm
Anybody
sorry.
that knows Chris Devin knows this man to be extraordinarily honest, transparent, one of the best human beings in the mortgage business. Dude, you always inspire me with your strength, your grit, and your positive attitude. No matter what the world throws at you, man, you just keep on rolling. I hope everybody that tuned in to today's call got value, got inspiration. I hope that you took a few minutes and documented your code. If you have not been following this channel and you don't even know what I'm talking about, make sure you go to our Facebook group, Know Your Code. Make sure you sign up for the mobile club, Savage Code. I really do believe that everything starts right up here with your mindset. And what creates your mindset? It's your beliefs, it's your philosophies, it's how well you live those philosophies. And so hopefully you got value from today. Make sure you're following savageinsights.com. Whoever I'm interviewing next will be at the very top. And Chris Devin, man, appreciate you, brother. Hey, by the way, I've noticed that a lot of people have these. Are you just like giving them out to your friends, or are you like, is there a way you ever going to make these available to the world?
Yeah, I know. Right now, it's people, friends, colleagues, my team. We host an event every year for Dana-Farber called the Derby Dash, and it's a fundraiser, and we hand them out at the event. So that's where we're at right now. But if anybody wants one, you can email me, chris.devin@ccm.com. I'd be more than happy to send you one.
Oh, that's kind of you, my brother. I didn't mean to blow up your inbox with these, but
Yeah.
dude, dude,
No,
I hope a lot of people support you. And by the way, supporting Chris is supporting yourself. Like, I'm getting a lot of value while having his code on my wrist reminding me, man. So take care, brother. I can't wait till the next conversation. Oh, do you want to say something else?
the last thing that I was going to say, Savage, is to the point of the bracelet is when you figure out your code, make sure you're writing it down and giving yourself a trigger point to remember it, right? This for me on a daily basis reminds me constantly. And that's what I think really moves the needle. It's not just thinking about it, writing it down, putting it somewhere and not reviewing it. Like you have to keep it top of mind to really move the needle. So
Yeah, and as I
that's my
build
two
out
cents.
this Savage Code community, I'm already creating tools to help you guys document your code, live your code, share your code. And I guarantee you, we've got a little playbook on how to get your own bracelet. So stay tuned on that. And take care, brother.
Thank you. Have a
This
great
is a
day.
wrap. Take care, everybody.
Take care.